Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start today by putting a question out there that might sound a little strange.
Okay.
What if saying thank you isn't just about having good manners? What if it's actually a form of rebellion?
Hmm. That is a provocative way to start. Rebellion isn't, the first word that comes to mind with gratitude.
No, I mean it though. We usually think of gratitude as this polite social thing. You know the drill. You pass the salt, I say thanks.
Yeah,
Someone holds the door, you nod. It's just etiquette.
right. It's what you teach a toddler.
Exactly. But we're looking at a text today that frames it as a rebellion against despair. And get this, a way to fundamentally alter your reality.
It's a really powerful concept. We're
Yeah.
diving into a fascinating piece called The Eternal Song, Gratitude as a Path to Redemption by Rabbi Shlomo Izagwi.
And just to set the stage for everyone listening, this is not your standard self-help advice. We're not just talking about, keeping a gratitude journal to feel a little better.
No, this is much deeper. We're getting into Jewish thought, Hasidic philosophy, and honestly, the metaphysical mechanics of what happens when you express genuine gratitude.
Right. The whole mission for this deep dive is to really move the needle on how we see this. We want to take gratitude out of that little box of like a seasonal activity.
Like something you only really think about around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And instead understand it as a fundamental pillar of divine service.
And the source material argues that it's a bridge between our present struggles and future redemption.
It's all about shifting consciousness. I mean, the text suggests that when we move from complaint to cooperation with a higher plan, we're not just feeling better.
No, we're tapping into a kind of hidden code in the universe.
I love that. Hidden codes, that is so up my alley, and we are definitely going to geek out on some numbers later on.
I had a feeling.
But let's unpack the core concept first. So the text makes this huge distinction right off the bat between standard gratitude and this spiritual practice. How does the rabbi define it?
Well, normally we think of gratitude as reactive. It's almost transactional.
Like you get a gift, you say thanks.
Exactly. Something good happens, you feel grateful. But in Jewish thought, as the source explains, gratitude is a lens through which we view all of life.
All of life, even the bad parts.
That's the key. It's not just for moments of abundance. It's about thanking God for the very experience of living. It's this awareness that every single detail of existence is purposeful.
So it's less thanks for the promotion and more thanks for the fact that I exist to even want a promotion.
Precisely. It's foundational. And this leads us to the physics of it all. The text talks about simcha, which is the Hebrew word for joy.
Okay, and knowing this source material, this isn't just don't worry, be happy, is it?
Oh, far from it. This is not toxic positivity. The source references the Chabad Rebs, who emphasize that joy is a vessel.
A vessel.
Yeah, think of it this way. Blessings are always flowing, like rain, but if your bucket has a lid on it, you can't catch any water.
And joy is what takes the lid off.
Yes. The text says, blessings require an open vessel, and joy opens the soul more than anything else.
That is such a cool visual. It makes it sound so mechanical, almost like spiritual plumbing.
It is, in a spiritual sense. And there's a flip side. The text brings up the Tanya, a foundational work by the Alter Rebbe. He explains that sadness, it constricts the heart.
It constricts it.
It physically and spiritually tightens you up. It creates a barrier.
So being grumpy or wallowing in despair isn't just a bad mood, it's a metaphysical blockage. You're literally sealing off that vessel.
That is exactly what the source argues. And gratitude. Gratitude dissolves that barrier. It allows divine light to circulate freely. It's like unclogging a spiritual artery.
Okay, so if gratitude is the method to open the vessel, the text takes this a step further into, I can only describe it as time travel. This is the part that really made me stop and reread.
This is one of the fascinating parts, for sure. He brings in a teaching from the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement.
Okay, lay it on us.
So, the teaching is that in the era of Moshiach, the Messianic era, this future time of ultimate peace and clarity,
Right.
all sacrifices will cease.
All of them. No more offerings.
Well, historically in the temple, you had sin offerings, guilt offerings, things like that.
Yeah.
But in a perfected world,
Hmm.
they're obsolete.
Okay,
But there's one exception, the Thanksgiving offering.
Whoa, so the I'm sorry goes away, but the thank you stays.
Correct. And the implication there is massive. It means that all our prayers will eventually be distilled into one single essential expression, gratitude.
That implies that the end goal of all spiritual work is just to arrive at a state of pure thanks. That's the finish line.
Exactly. And the text connects this to Psalm 100, his Moladoda. the Psalm of Thanksgiving.
Right.
Historically, this was sung when someone survived a great danger. But the source argues that when you recite it today, you're doing something futuristic.
This is the time travel part.
In a way, yes. The rabbi explains that by tapping into that gratitude now, while we're still in the mess, we're accessing the light of that future redemption. You're pulling the consciousness of the future into the present moment.
Okay, hold on. There were two Hebrew terms you mentioned here that I think are important to clarify for everyone. Golus and gula. Can you break those down?
Yeah, sure. Golus is exile. It's the state of struggle, of concealment, feeling distant from the truth.
It's the mess.
It's the mess. And gula is redemption. It's clarity, connection, peace.
And the argument is that gratitude is the bridge between them.
Yes, it connects the now of Golus with the what is to come of Gola. By choosing to be grateful in the middle of the struggle, you're actually transforming the exile into redemption.
So you aren't waiting for the world to be perfect to say thanks. You're saying thanks to help perfect the world.
That's it, exactly.
That is incredibly empowering. But I have to play devil's advocate for a second.
Please do.
It's easy to say be grateful when things are okay. But what about when life is really hard? I mean, when you're in real pain or you've lost something or you're terrified, how does the text handle that?
It addresses it head on. And this is why I said earlier it's not toxic positivity.
Yeah.
The text digs into the Hebrew word for thanks, which is Hoda.
Hoda. Okay, you said there was a double meaning.
Right. It means the thanks, of course. But in a legal context, it also means acknowledgement or admission, like admitting a fact in court. I admit this is true.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just an emotion. It's more like a statement of fact.
Right. The argument here is that gratitude isn't escapism. It's not looking at a burning building and saying, oh, what a lovely fire. That's not it at all.
Right. That would be insane.
It's acknowledging the deeper reality that, as the text says, beneath all experiences lies God's goodness. You're admitting that even if you can't see the good right now, you acknowledge the source of the experience is good.
And that brings us back to my opening hook. The text explicitly calls this a rebellion against desire.
I love that phrase. It's so active.
It is.
It refuses to surrender your inner world to what's happening outside. If you let the circumstances dictate your state of mind, you're just reacting. You're a victim. But if you choose Hoda, if you choose to acknowledge, you are rebelling. You're saying, no, I choose how I perceive this.
The source also says something about miracles here. That by doing this, we become a co-creator of a miracle. That sounds huge.
It is huge. From the Hasidic perspective, a miracle isn't just, a supernatural event. It's revealing the godliness that's already hidden within nature.
Okay.
So when things look chaotic, but you find the gratitude, you are revealing the hidden purpose.
Yeah.
You're co-creating the reality where that goodness is visible.
There's that quote from the Rebbe in the text. Think good and it will be good. I've heard that before, but in this context, it hits differently.
It's not just a nice slogan. It's a dynamic. The text explains this isn't delusion. It's an activation mechanism.
An activation mechanism.
Thinking good activates divine kindness. It shifts your consciousness from complaint, which closes the vessel, to cooperation, which opens it wide.
Okay, speaking of hidden things and activation mechanisms, this is the part where I get to geek out a little bit.
I had a feeling this was coming.
The text dives into these hidden codes inside Psalm 100, and I'm a sucker for patterns. The numerology here is just, it's wild. It makes you realize these texts are engineered.
It really emphasizes the precision, doesn't it?
Okay, so code number 1. The text points out that Psalm 100 has exactly 168 letters.
Right, 168.
And the rabbi connects this to time. Because if you take the 7 days of the week and you multiply them by the 24 hours in a day...
You get 168.
Exactly. There are 168 hours in a week.
And the lesson there is just so clear. Gratitude isn't a sometimes thing. It applies to every single hour of every single day. It's literally encoded into the letters of the psalm.
It's structural. Like, there is no time off from this perspective. But then there's code number 2, which I think is even cooler, the whole half-full cup.
Oh, this one is very clever. So Psalm 100 has 43 words.
43, okay.
Now, in Hebrew numerology, gematria, every letter has a number value. The word for cup, kos, has a numerical value of 86.
Okay, doing the math here, 43 is exactly half of 86.
Precisely. The Psalm of Thanksgiving is numerically half a cup.
That is just mind-blowing. So the text is saying your cup is always half full.
If you view it through gratitude, yes. The insight is that when you look at your life, your cup, gratitude, is what allows you to see the fullness. It transforms the feeling of scarcity into one of abundance.
Wow. It's poetic, but it's also mathematical. It's like the universe is winking at you.
It is. And it supports this bigger idea in Judaism of sanctifying the mundane. The text brings up the custom of reciting 100 blessings a day.
100. That sounds like a lot.
It does until you realize it's a rhythm. It's not sitting down with a list. It's you eat an apple, there's a blessing, you drink water. Blessing, see a rainbow, smell coffee.
It's about sanctifying all the simple acts.
Exactly. Which brings us to the simplest act of all, which the text focuses on so heavily, just waking up.
Yes. The Moda Ani prayer. For those who don't know, this is the very first thing you say when you wake up. Before you even get out of bed.
Before you check your phone.
Definitely before you check your phone. It translates to, I offer thanks. And the philosophy behind it is so profound. The text argues that waking up isn't just your alarm clock. It's a declaration that your soul has been restored.
Something we take for granted so much. We wake up and immediately our brain jumps to the to-do list, the stress.
We wake up to anxiety, but the text says we don't awaken to chaos. We awaken to opportunity.
And it calls that feeling of being powerless a lie.
Hmm.
Pain is a cunning liar. That's a strong line.
It is.
Pain convinces you you're alone. But the fact that you woke up, that undeniable physical truth that you are breathing, it exposes the lie.
It totally reframes the morning. The alarm isn't an annoyance anymore. It's a signal of a resurrection.
And it ties back to trust. The text says the morning is an act of trust between the Creator and creation. And here's the kicker. The prayer ends with, "Great is your faithfulness."
Great is your faithfulness, not my faith in you.
Right. It's God's faith in you. You've been given another shot, another day. Yeah. The fact that you woke up means the Creator has faith that you can handle whatever this day brings.
That just flips the whole script. It's not about me trying to believe. It's about me living up to the belief that's been placed in me.
Exactly.
So let's try and bring all this together. We've covered a lot of ground here, from gratitude as a social nicety to a rebellion, a time machine, a mathematical code.
I think if we synthesize it, the main takeaway is that gratitude creates a vessel. It opens us up to joy. It acts as this time bridge connecting our present struggles to a perfected future.
And it allows us to see the half-full cup of reality.
Right.
And what I really appreciate is that it doesn't promise that saying thank you will magically fix your flat tire.
No, and that's the so what here, right? This practice doesn't necessarily change the world around us immediately. It changes how we see it.
And that quote from the end of the source is so powerful. In that shift, the world itself begins to change.
Because you are showing up differently? When you stop acting like a victim and start acting like a co-creator, the way you interact with everything changes. You're clearer, more open, and the world responds.
That feedback loop.
Exactly.
I want to leave our listener with one final thought, something to really chew on that comes from this text.
Go for it.
We talked about how in the future, the only prayer left will be thank you.
Right.
So here's a thought. What would happen if you started living in that future right now?
That's the challenge.
What if every single challenge you face today isn't a roadblock, but just a divine reconfiguration that's waiting for you to acknowledge the good hidden inside it? If you lived as if the redemption has already happened, how would that change your Tuesday morning?
It would turn every moment into an opportunity. It would remove the fear.
Exactly. Well, thank you for walking us through this. It's been, I have to say it, a redeeming conversation.
It has. Thank you.
And to you listening, thanks for being here. Keep those vessels open. We'll see you on the next deep dive.